I might have to see a cardiologist at the end of this season because the Chicago Bears are putting me and all of Bears fans through the ringer in these games. But you know what? They're finding ways to win. My name is Harrison Graham. This is our Chicago Bears Now post-game show. Bears 19, Vikings 17. Chicago improves to 7-3. Minnesota falls to 4-6. Before I get into my reaction, just describe this team in one word, this win in one word. I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, every week it comes down to the wire. Today it was so unnecessary. Give me your one word on this team when it comes to the 2025 Chicago Bears. Cardiac, I see in the chat. That's a good one. How about winners? Listen, they're winning games. As we're filming this, they're in first place in the NFC North. Now, depending on what happens on Sunday Night Football, they could dip down to the wild card spot once again. But if Philadelphia beats Detroit tonight, the Bears are in first place. Listen, it wasn't easy. At times it wasn't fun. But when they had to have it, they made a play. When they had to have it, we've been waiting all year for a big return on special teams, and Devin Duvernay pops a 60-yarder to put the Bears into fringe field goal range. DeAndre Swift, a couple tough runs, and Cairo Santos gets redemption after missing a 45-yarder earlier in the fourth quarter, which would have given the Bears a 2-score lead. Instead, the Vikings ended up scoring a couple drives later to go up by 1 point with less than a minute to go, and we're all sitting there, well, this sucks, but it's Caleb time. Can he do it again? Didn't really have to because you got that kickoff return and they just ran Swift 3 times and kicked it. Speaking of Caleb Williams, the stat line to me is not going to indicate how well he played after the first quarter. I don't think this was a great game for him, but I think it was better than 50%. DJ Moore, brutal drop over the middle for what would have been a 20-yard game. Luther Burden, another in-breaking route, dropped again. Durham Smythe on a 2nd and 5 drops the check down for a first down. They get stopped on an awful third down call. Travis Homer reverse sweep that he was face masked, but that was a killer because that turned a touchdown into 3 points. Untimely mistakes once again. Listen, this team makes a lot of self-inflicted errors. They drop passes. They had 2 illegal formations today, which is how is that even possible? Just line up properly. But they do a good job of overcoming them late in these games. Now, you're living life on the edge. You figure at some point it's going to cost you a game, but it didn't cost you today. I thought after the first quarter, though, to get back to Caleb and give him my final thoughts there, I thought he settled in pretty well. I mean, he was 2 for 7. Flores was throwing all kinds of different looks at him. From there on, he finished 14 of 25. Again, not a super high percentage, but he was riled up early. I mean, he overthrows a couple deep balls, tries to throw a touch pass to Swift, too far out in front, just wasn't comfortable. But Ben Johnson started dialing up those play-action in-breaking routes, and that's where Caleb's really comfortable, attacking the middle of the field with velocity. And they hit a lot of those. They dropped a few, but they hit a lot of those. They erased a 2nd and 24 at one point, which is you have a quarterback who can do that now, which is pretty awesome. So it wasn't pretty, but unlike the other quarterback, Caleb didn't make any bat-breaking errors. J.J. McCarthy threw 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams had no turnovers. So in a game like this, it often comes down to the little things, the turnover margin. And even though the Bears did make a ton of mistakes, they didn't turn the ball over. And that was a big key to why they won this football game. I thought DeAndre Swift just gutted this one out. I thought it was a tough, gutsy effort, some tough runs. Kyle Monangai, the Bears O-line seemed to get blown up more when he was in there, and so they kind of just leaned on Swift. And this one grinds out 90 yards on 21 carries. And an underrated part of the game at the very end is on 2nd down, he loses a couple yards, and I think had they kicked there, it would have been a 56-yarder. They run it again to him on 3rd down. He picks up 8 yards. So he turns a 56-yarder into a 48-yarder. And Cairo Santos earlier in the game just had enough leg to hit from 54. So 56 might have been dicey, and Swift was able to hit a crease and pick up 8 yards to give Santos a much more manageable kick to win this game. I thought Cole Kmet was tough as hell in this game. Had some tough yards after the catch on some dump-offs from Caleb, some flat routes, a couple checkdowns. Was bouncing off Wimpley tacklers, had a couple key blocks as well on the Kyle Monangai touchdown run. He was able to seal one of the defenders to open up that running lane for Monangai. So Kmet's just been kind of doing the dirty work all year, and today he got a little rewarded from that, got some more targets, 5 catches on 5 targets, toughed out 45 yards. Odunze, he had that catch on that big 2nd and 24 to get to 3rd and 1, which they were able to convert, but pretty quiet otherwise. They didn't throw to him too much in this game. It was kind of, they just spread it out. Kmet got some targets. Durham Smythe got 3 targets, had an awful drop. I don't love seeing that. What I do want to see is more of number 84. You could make the argument right now that Colston Loveland is the most reliable pass catcher on this team. Everyone's dropping balls every week. Not this guy, though. He catches everything. He caught a dump off on 3rd and 14 and split 2 defenders and got the first down. I mean, why are the Bears throwing to Durham Smythe 3 times and Colston Loveland 4 times? I understand Smythe's a good blocker. They have him on the field in certain situations, but he had 0 targets all year and he gets 3 today. I'm not a big fan of that whatsoever. Luther Burden felt like his snap share went up, did have a bad drop, but other than that, made a couple of nice plays. DJ Moore had an awful drop, did catch one over the middle, though, earlier in the game. They just grinded this one out. They were shooting themselves in the foot, but they stayed with it. They battled. You could feel the urgency from the Chicago Bears in this football game. So credit where it's due. Sometimes it ain't easy. Sometimes it ain't fun. I didn't think Ben Johnson had a great game. I'll talk about that here in a minute. But first, sub for Bears Dubs. It feels good to be 7-3. Feels good to be 7-3. We can't be greedy after some of the seasons we've watched over the years for the Chicago Bears. So hit that subscribe button. 140,000 subs is our next milestone. If you want free and daily Bears content, hit the subscribe button. All right, before we talk about Ben Johnson, and then we got to give the defense a lot of credit in this game. Shout out to PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose the Flex Play option where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, PrizePicks is a great way to put your takes to the test. I hit my 2-player lineup on PrizePicks, which means I made $60. Going to launch a couple more lineups tonight. Took more on Caleb Williams' rushing yards. I think he had 26. And then J.J. McCarthy didn't sniff 212.5. Took the less there. $20 lineup to win $60. Cha-ching! Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, let's talk about Ben Johnson. And let me just first say, Ben Johnson is showing he's a very good coach. We know he's a great play caller, play designer. I'm not saying he's not. But we have to be critical when it's valid to be critical. I thought on 2 critical 3rd downs, he had really bad play calls. Durham Smythe drops the ball on 2nd and 5. That's not on Ben. That's on Caleb. That's on Durham Smythe. Sets up 3rd and 5. You still have to run a play that makes sense. You run like a weird reverse running back sweep to checks notes. Let me see. Travis Homer. He's not involved in your offense. Why are you trying to make him involved? That is getting way too cute. Yes, there was a face mask that they missed. It's a horrible miss. But you almost deserve it for calling that play in that situation. It was going nowhere. Tongue-in-cheek there. They should have gotten the call. But, you go to Travis Homer in that spot, that is horrific. And they end up kicking the field goal. Cairo made the 54-yarder, which was big at the time, to go up 13-3, so kudos. But that drop and that play call potentially cost you 4 points. And then on the next drive, you get to 3rd and 3. You're running the ball efficiently at that time. You're up 10, so a field goal only puts you up 13. You're in the high red area, 3rd and 3. Why not run the ball there? Even if you don't get it, okay, if you get driven backwards or something, kick the field goal. But chances are you're at least getting a yard or 2, and then you have a decision on 4th down. Nope. Caleb has to throw the ball away. They kick the field goal to go up 13. And I remember thinking at the time, it's you're just letting this team hang around. You got to smell blood there, get a touchdown, go up 3 scores. If you're going to throw it on 3rd and 3, go for it on 4th and 3. That's my thought. It felt like he tried to just sneak in a shot play there, and the Vikings defended it well. Okay, go for it on 4th and 3. The field goal there, I know you end up winning by 2, so you can say, well, if he didn't kick it. It's more about the 3rd down call. I was not a fan of that 3rd down. There wasn't even play action or anything or a boot or something. It was just a straight drop back. I just was not a fan of those 2 third downs, and it turned 2 potential touchdowns into field goals. So I did not think Ben on those 2 situational opportunities had his best stuff. Now, again, he's not going to be perfect. The Bears certainly found a way to move the ball after the first quarter enough to win this game, and it's not all on him when they make mistakes. But again, I thought it was a little cutesy. It's like, Travis Homer, really? 3rd and 5? What are we doing? Like, shot play on 3rd and 3 when you're running the ball well on that drive, just hand the ball off. Like, we don't need to like go for broke just to do it. So I wasn't a fan of that, but you found a way in the end. Let's talk real quick about the defense, then we'll get out of here. Listen, J.J. McCarthy is having massive struggles. The Vikings also dropped some balls, but you got to give credit, man. You are thin at corner. Tyreek Stevenson left this game late in the 3rd quarter with an injury, did not return. Through 3 quarters, you held this team to 3 points, and 7 of the 17 they got was on, guess what? A punt return inside your 25 because Richard Hightower's punt unit can't cover. So I don't even count that one against Dennis Allen's group. Yeah, JJ had the 1 drive, 10 for 85 and a touchdown to take the lead. You give them credit. Like, they're going to have a drive. You're not going to pitch a shutout with the amount of injuries you have on defense. I mean, Jalen Johnson's out. Kyler Gordon's out. TJ Edwards is out. Noah Sewell left at one point in this game. He did return. Tyreek Stevenson left, did not return. Got to turn to Nick McLeod. Like, the defense, and again, this is without having a very good pass rush. For Dennis Allen to, kind of control this game for as long as he did, I thought it was really, really impressive. So, again, they had some drops. They missed some opportunities as well. But, listen, you hold that team to 17 and they're building in a critical divisional road game, like you got to shake Dennis Allen's hand and tip the cap. Kevin Byard gets on the board with another interception. Grady Jarrett gets the assist there. Had a nice pressure to hit McCarthy, and Byard was able to jump the route and pick it off. Nashawn Wright, what a story. His college coach, the Last Chance U guy, gets shot and killed over the weekend. Our thoughts go out to Coach Beam and his family. And Nashawn Wright makes one of the best picks of the year. I mean, McCarthy actually, I thought, threw a decent fade route to Jordan Addison, and Nashawn Wright climbs the ladder, high points it, and picks it off. You could see how much that meant to him. Listen, for a backup corner, he gives up some plays, but he also makes plays on the football. 4 picks on the year. You got to give Nashawn Wright a lot of credit, and the Bears credit for bringing him in and the role he's played this year. It's been really, really impressive considering what the expectations were. I mentioned Grady getting that pressure. Montez Sweat had a key PBU late in the game to force a 4th down. They did convert, but felt like that might have been the game-winning play. Tremaine Edmonds continues to have a great year. His pursuit of a lot of these toss run plays that they were running, really, really good. C.J. Gardner-Johnson with an early TFL. They're just scrapping, man. With how many injuries they got defensively, they are just scrapping. And again, the turnovers, they're just huge in the NFL. Huge. And you get a couple of them in this game today. A big reason why you won the football game. You took the ball away twice. You didn't give it away once. So kudos to DA and the boys. I thought they were a big reason why you won. All right, Bears 7-3. You know who's coming to town. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. He did leave with a hand injury today, so we'll keep an eye on that. Plus, Jalen Ramsey ejected, so could be a potential suspension situation. So a couple of storylines that we will monitor. Who you got? Early prediction, CHI for the Bears or PIT for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let us know who you got in this one. And bear down, baby. It's easy. It's not easy. I was going to say it's easy. It has not been easy, but they're finding ways to win. In the end, it's fun. You want to win, and the Bears are finding a way. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. I think what we'll do, normally we put out another video about halftime Sunday Night Football. I think we'll put it out we'll film after the game tonight, because if the Bears get a Philadelphia win, they're in first place in the NFC North heading into Week 12. So we'll probably stick around, wait for that game to play out. So with that being said, bear down.